Hello everyone. So in the previous classes we are done with the international capital market instruments and all. In today's class we are going to speak about motives for using the international financial market. So first of all, why the investors are using the international financial market? Let's see. Investors invest in foreign markets to take the advantage of the favorable economic conditions when they expect the foreign currencies to appreciate against their own and to reap or to use the benefits of international diversification. So when they expect foreign currencies to appreciation of foreign currency means, let's say today's exchange rate is $1 is equal to 70 rupees, and in 2 days the exchange rate may increase to $1 is equal to rupees 75. So this is called as appreciation of the foreign currencies. Value of the foreign currency is increased. This is also called a depreciation of the home currency. To get $1 or 1 unit of the foreign currency, we have to pay more when compared to previous days to take up the favorable economic conditions. Okay, the economic conditions which is favorable for them, okay, for investors, or for increasing economic conditions, for developing economic conditions. They invest in the foreign exchange to take up the advantage of these price fluctuations, okay, and to reap or utilize the benefits of the international diversification. As you know, so when we are investing, we have to choose the better economy or the combination of the better economy to invest at the beginning itself. Okay, when an investor is investing in international markets, then his funds are obviously diversified. Okay, so when the funds are diversified, the risk is less. So that is what mentioned here. So to diversify their risk, they are going to invest in the international market. So the first motive, to take the advantage of the price fluctuations and to utilize the diversifications. Okay, creditors provide the credit in the foreign markets. So there are creditors who are using the international financial markets. So why they are using the international financial markets, or why they are providing the credits in the foreign markets? Let's see. To capitalize the higher foreign interest rates. Okay, so when we are compared to interest rates, in some countries the foreign interest rates are high, and in some countries the foreign interest rates are less. Okay, so regarding this we are going to see in detail in coming units. When they expect the foreign currencies to appreciate against their own, the same situations of the previous, to reap the benefits of the international diversification. Okay, the same reason it is. So creditors also provide the credit, or they use the foreign market to capitalize the higher foreign interest rates. For example, if they are providing the loans in India, the interest rate may be around 10 to 12%. Suppose if they are giving the loan in outside the nation, okay, the interest rate may be higher. So to utilize that higher interest rates, they will provide the loans, or they will use these foreign markets. Okay, and obviously, as explained in the previous slide, to utilize the price fluctuations of the foreign currencies and to reap the benefits of the international diversification, that is also explained in the previous slide. Borrowers borrow in the foreign markets. Here it's exactly the vice versa situation. Creditors will provide the loan, borrowers will borrow the loan. Correct? Creditor is an investor or a lender. Borrower is the one who is raising the money or who is borrowing the money. To capitalize on lower foreign interest rates. Okay, so for example, if you need a loan, then what you are going to see? One, what type of the interest rate it is, whether it is a floating interest rate or is it a fixed interest rate. Am I right? So if it is a fixed interest rate, then the interest rate will be the same. It is a constant. And if it is a floating interest rate, then the interest will reduce. Correct? The percentage may be the same, but the amount of the interest will reduce, because the amount or the principal which you have paid, for that the interest is not charged in the floating exchange rate, or we say it as reducing interest rate. When we want to take the loan, we are going to see that whether the interest rate is charged on the basis of the fixed interest rate or on the basis of the floating interest rate. The second one, we are going to observe the interest rate. So let's say in one particular bank, HDFC Bank, the interest rate is 10% in floating interest rate, and in Bank of Baroda, the interest rate is 8%. That is also the floating interest rate. Now, where you are going to take the loan? You are going to take the loan on Bank of Baroda because the interest rate is lesser, correct? The same thing the borrower also will do. Where the interest rate is less, he is going to borrow the loan or borrow the credit from that particular market. Okay. When they expect the foreign currencies to depreciate against their own, okay, the foreign currency depreciation or the home currency appreciation, exact vice versa example of the previous point. Okay, suppose if the exchange rate is 70 rupees per dollar, $1 is equal to 70 rupees, then after 2 days the exchange rate will reduce to rupees 65. Now what happened? The foreign currency value is decreased, the domestic currency value is increased. Am I right? So this is what the situations under this particular point. The foreign exchange market allows currencies to be exchanged in order to facilitate the international trade or financial transactions. The system for establishing the exchange rates has evolved over time. Okay, so system for establishing the exchange rate has evolved over time. You can refer the unit 1 there, evolution of a monetary system, and the exchange rate system which is there, that is evolved, that is developed over a period of time. Okay, so before 1875 barter system and the bimetallism was there. Then after classical gold standard where the silver is removed as a mode of exchange and only gold is used. Then interwar period was there where the international trade is very less and the gold is used to meet the war expenses. Then after Bretton Woods system is there where they try to bring back the classical gold standard but with few of the alterations, but that is also failed. And in the year of 1973 the exchange rate system what we are following now, that is a floating exchange rate, so that is came into existence, correct? So the foreign exchange market is evolved or developed over a period. So that's it for today's class. In coming classes we are going to speak about the foreign exchange transactions. With that we are going to study about the quotations, direct quotations, indirect quotations and all. So then only we can go for the foreign exchange market.